Hello, we're going to be working on a song from Oklahoma today called Oklahoma. Even before becoming a state in 1907, Oklahoma was the center of oil production, farming, and ranching. This adventurous period in the state's early history provided the setting for Oklahoma, the 1943 Rodgers and Hammerstein production that set new standards for the Broadway musical. Listen to the title song from the show as you follow the music and identify what part harmony is added by a group of backup singers. And remember, harmony is going to be more voices than one at the same time. So let's listen.
There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow.
This is the first music you hear at the opening of the musical play, Oklahoma. I'm Richard Rodgers, and I composed the music for the play, Oklahoma. I didn't write the words, however. I had a collaborator whose name was Oscar Hammerstein II. Mr. Hammerstein's job in our partnership was to write the words or lyrics to the songs in the play. You know that words and music are equally important in helping to tell the story in a musical play. They set a mood or they explain something about the people who sing the songs. Sometimes the songs simply tell you part of the story. Let's go back to Oklahoma and see how this works. One of the main problems which Mr. Hammerstein and I faced in creating Oklahoma was how to begin it. What should be the first thing the audience sees when the curtain goes up? And what should it hear? The scene was in the Oklahoma Territory shortly before it became a state. We wanted to write something that seemed to belong to that time and that place in order to get the story started in the proper mood. We could have started it with a big barn dance, but that didn't seem very original. We decided to go back to the play from which Oklahoma was adapted and look for ideas. The play's writer described the kind of morning the Oklahomans were experiencing at the beginning of the play. He described it as a radiant summer morning when everything in sight, cowboys, cattle in the meadows, blades of young corn, the water in the streams, everything reflected the golden glow of the sun and made the day more beautiful. This description gave Mr. Hammerstein his ideas about cattle standing like statues, the height of the corn, and the bright golden haze on the meadow. When my turn came to add music to the opening of the play, I knew I had to put into the music all the peace and contentment of a sun-drenched day on a farm. So I used the lazy waltz rhythm you just heard. Then when I got to the refrain, I lowered one note a half step to make the whole phrase sound lazier.
Oh, what a beautiful morning.
Here's how that phrase would sound if I hadn't lowered that one note.
Oh, what a beautiful morning.
It doesn't sound very lazy that way, does it? Well, when we got all the words and the musical ideas pulled together, "Oh, What a Beautiful Morning" seemed to set the mood for the entire play. The curtain rises, and no one is on stage but Aunt Ella. She's sitting in front of a farmhouse, churning butter. We see a beautiful cornfield in the distance and hear a voice singing. It's Curly, a cowboy. We imagine that he's somewhere in the cornfield. As he sings, he comes on stage and joins Aunt Ella. My interest in music and in musical plays goes back to when I was about your age, perhaps younger. My only ambition was to be a composer for the stage. That's exactly what I've been doing for over 40 years. I began writing songs when I was 14, and I've never stopped. This doesn't mean that my head is always full of new melodies just waiting to be written down. Writing music also involves a lot of hard work. A composer must learn all he can about music, and if he wants to compose music for the theater, he must also become familiar with all the elements of a musical show, singing, dancing, acting, and many other things. Because the modern musical play does involve so many different things and so many people, strong teamwork is necessary. This brings us right back to the cooperation between the lyricist and the composer. We've talked about the opening of Oklahoma and how the mood for the entire play was set with the singing of a song. Later in the play, we needed a song to express the simple joys of a boy and girl riding in a wonderful but imaginary horse-drawn buggy. The song that Mr. Hammerstein and I wrote was called "The Surrey with the Fringe on Top." Because it painted a simple picture, we were careful to keep the song simple. You may be surprised to know that the first 6 notes of the melody are all the same. They're all D's. This was done purposely to make it sound like the regular clip-clop of the horse's hooves on the country road. After those first 6 notes, you'll hear the surrey hit a bump in the road. As you listen to theater music, try to see how the combination of music and the lyrics helps set the mood of the play, and how it helps you become better acquainted with the characters and happenings in the play.